everybody, and welcome to Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies that we have not seen based on nothing but their weird descriptions.
I'm Brantley.
I am Albert, and we're doing these kind of voices right now, apparently. Brantley, do you want to kick it off today?
Yeah.
All right, Brantley is going to read for us. What do you got, Brantley?
Up first, we have the Eden Formula.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds like sort of like a slightly more serious version of Bible Man. Do you ever see those movies, Brantley?
No.
So, like Christian parents are afraid of letting their kids see television because it's worldly and has bad themes. But
you have explicit experience with this.
Children especially, want to watch television.
Because it's cool and pretty. So
what the Christian solution is to make Christian television, and Bible Man
like
was one of those.
Superbook.
That
was like animated shorts from the Bible.
Okay, I remember seeing some animated Bible stuff when I was a kid.
PBS, yeah.
I never did actually personally see Bible Man. I saw there was a show called McGee and Me, which was sort of a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style, like live action with animated on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Bible Man was a Bible-themed superhero. I don't know if he exists in like comic book form also, but he was a movie guy. And that's what the Eden Formula sounds like. We went back in time and found out Genesis was real.
Or like they found like some mathematical equation that would open the door to Eden.
Or that. Well, especially because
I would actually watch that. That'd be cool. Probably dumb, but that'd be cool.
Well, especially because in the Bible, like Eden got sort of destroyed or covered over or something. Like it originally still existed for a long time, and then I guess I would say probably during the flood, like all that stuff finally takes it down. But there's like a good stretch of Bible history where it's just there, but you can't go because there's dude with a giant sword that's on fire.
Yeah. Is it on fire or made of fire? Because I always pictured them as like lightsabers.
I think that there's a lot of room for interpretation there, especially because they hadn't seen Star Wars, so maybe that's how they would have talked about that.
I mean, if God's all-knowing, he's like, it's like a lightsaber. What? Oh, right, you're not there yet.
You haven't caught up.
Man, you guys are gonna love that. Some of you won't. You'll call it witchcraft, but whatever. Anyways, Dr. Harrison Parker is a scientist working at Calgoran Industries who developed the Eden Formula.
So far, I have heard nothing that will disprove any of our theories.
A chemical which can reproduce organisms and cure various diseases.
That's slightly away from where we're at. This is just like a miracle cure? It's like snake oil, but for real?
Apparently.
Okay.
I like how it's just various diseases, not all of them, and they're not sure which ones. It's like, come and try it. It might work, it might not.
Acne? Nope, that one didn't. Sorry. Wow, that was a real bad one. Now you have leprosy. Sorry.
Yeah. Leprosy,
Next.
though, cures that, but because you got it from our chemical, not going to work for you. Sorry.
Diabetes, only type 1. Type 2, you
I am
guys
in no
got yourself
mood.
in that mess, and you can get yourselves out.
My favorite thing to do with diabetes is just Dr. McNinja, thinking that they're nothing but a bunch of whiners and having no time for their business nonsense.
Yes.
However, unknown to Parker, deep underground, the general area of his industrial district, or in the general area, other Calgoran industry scientists have created a Tyrannosaurus Rex from Parker's formula. And keep Yes! And keep it locked away in a subterranean location in order to impress stockholders.
That's the worst.
Okay, I have never read this. I just saw dinosaurs, hadn't seen the movie. I'm like, yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. So they're like,
we
have this thing that cures diseases, but also somehow
we made a dinosaur.
It makes a dinosaur.
We made a giant.
And why did we do
dinosaur
this?
Who's to eat at least 2 cows a day to not die?
Like what stock? What does their company
I'd be
do?
impressed.
I would be impressed, I guess, but I'm saying like Facebook impresses their stockholders by saying, "Look, we had a bunch of people click on things, and we sold a bunch of ad revenue." You know, I don't know. Google can't.
If Google unveiled dinosaur, I'd be 100% on board. I'd be super impressed.
Would you buy stock, is what I'm asking.
They have a dinosaur, yes.
Okay. Maybe it's just the last resort. They're like, we really don't have a business plan, but people like dinosaurs. If you like a dinosaur, it's like...
Or maybe like they accidentally made it, and it's like, what do we do with it?
Look,
Well,
we can just accidentally make a
some
dinosaur.
guy sitting there goes like, you know what? That's actually very impressive.
Imagine what we could do with on purpose.
Soon enough, industry spies enter a laboratory at Calgoran Industries so they can steal the formula and pass it off as their own, making millions of dollars.
Wouldn't that... that seems like the kind of thing that you could catch people at. If somebody else was suddenly like, we also have a miracle cure for most diseases and a dinosaur, but it's unrelated to yours.
I mean, the dinosaur is kind of secret unless you're a stockholder, apparently.
Maybe.
I guess it's a secret to that one dude because, like, we don't want him knowing he can just make dinosaurs. That would be horribly wrong for everyone involved.
So I assume where this is going is that these guys who are breaking in don't know there's a T-Rex, and the T-Rex doesn't know how much he enjoys eating people who break into the lab.
There's some phrasing in this that's going to sound amazing, and I choose to interpret it directly.
Okay.
Nevertheless, the spies accidentally set loose the bloodthirsty Tyrannosaur, which that was not what I was talking about, but a vampire T-Rex would be hilarious.
Yep. Right up there with zombie T-Rex. They can fight.
Yeah. They'd be immune to each other and they're just tearing chunks out. Yeah, okay. They set loose the bloodthirsty Tyrannosaur, which obliterates all objects and beings in the lab.
What?
And rampages into the streets of Los Angeles.
So okay.
They're obliterated.
I've been playing a lot of Lego Worlds, Brantley, and there's a landscape tool in that can just, like, get rid of everything.
Yeah.
That it touches, and I'm envisioning that, like, the cops come in, they're like, we haven't, like, people have been missing here, what's that going on? They open the door, and the inside of the building is just a giant empty shell. Like, there's nothing.
Like a T-Rex-shaped hole in the wall.
There's no, like, floors anymore, like, it's just a giant empty cavity because of magic T-Rex created by the Eden Serum.
Formula.
Formula, yes.
Eden Serum would be the sequel. Parker and his friend Rhonda Shapton, who is here now have to team up with the police officer, no name given, so that they can stop both the determined rival company of Calgoran Industries and the Tyrannosaurus Rex that continuously adds to its body count.
Do you think...
By wiping out downtown LA, apparently.
Well, obviously. But I'm wondering, do you think that the T-Rex... still, like, it destroyed the serum, and so these guys probably have to get the T-Rex to get the serum, like, out of its blood or whatever. It has magic blood, like,
and they're
Superman.
trying to just kill the thing?
Right, the other guys are just like, it's eating people, and they're like, but we could heal that if we had the Eden formula.
It only works on diseases.
I mean, it worked on a disease where there wasn't.
It did bring back a dinosaur,
and
to be
then
fair.
it all of a sudden was again. So it might bring people back from the dead. That's a really interesting line of inquiry, actually.
Like, is that how that worked, or did they just like try it on an animal, like a chicken, and it's just turned into a T-Rex?
Oh,
whoops!
The genetic history.
Yeah, that crap.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, whoops.
I like the idea that they just had it in a test tube and it spilled and like
someone just like had a fossil for some reason. Some dinosaur enthusiast just happened to work there and just like accidentally dropped his like keepsake into the thing.
They had that cane.
My T-Rex tooth.
It's one of those mosquitoes trapped in amber.
I was picturing like a dude who wears like a T-Rex tooth instead of the shark tooth necklace.
That would be cool. Do those exist? I mean, I know T-Rex teeth exist as fossils.
I mean, you could probably get them. I'd suggest fake because they're basically just heavy rocks.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it's like the experience, man. Is that it for that one?
That's it for the Eden formula.
I like that one a lot. I want to see this.
That was fun.
The vision that I'm having in my head of this T-Rex rampaging through the streets of Los Angeles and eating people is probably not able to be matched by the movie's budget. But it's still cool. What do we got next?
Up next, we have a Wendigo.
Okay.
From 2001.
Have we not done this one before?
I don't think we have.
Okay, cool.
We may have.
We'll find out if we have.
But I like the writing on this.
Okay.
A blue Volvo makes its way through the fading light this chilly winter evening in upstate New York.
Okay.
Kim.
You said it's from 2004?
2001.
Oh, okay. I just Googled the wrong one.
Down.
I've actually got it open just to make sure it's not one we've read already. Oh, no, we haven't. We definitely haven't read this yet.
Okay.
Okay. Start over though. I let myself get out of the mood, and there was a mood.
Yeah.
So let's just reset that mood. Get the blue Volvo going.
Rev up the blue Volvo. Blue Volvo makes its way through the fading light this chilly winter evening in upstate New York. Kim, George, and their 8-year-old son Miles are city dwellers stealing a weekend away at a friend's country farmhouse.
We're sure gonna get away to this country farmhouse, George.
But a fluke accident sets off a chain of
an audio
events
drama
that alters their lives forever and conjures up the ferocious spirit of the Wendigo, a Native American myth made manifest in Miles' imagination.
What, spoilers, I guess?
Cannibal Child!
Is that it? Is that the end?
Yeah.
Okay, I have more on this one from
Cool.
IMDb.
I just like the
It's longer. Yours
blue
is
Volvo.
much, much more evocative. This one just tells you what it's about. So this is still Wendigo, and we're reading from the IMDb one now.
Right.
George is a high-strung professional photographer who is starting to unravel from the stress of his work with the Manhattan advertising agency. Guess he's also made of yarn secretly. Needing some time away from the city, Jake, his wife Kim, and their son, Miles, head upstate to New York to take in the winter sights. It's snow! You're from Manhattan. Oh, fine,
There's also
whatever.
some really cool trees out there, dude.
Whatever. Okay.
You live in Florida, you don't know.
I to be fair, yes, I would be very fascinated by snow, but if I was in like New York City, I think I would have done
all
seen
those
some
rolling
snow.
hills where you can sled and
They
stuff.
have that giant Christmas tree that everybody like falls over themselves
That's
to go
not
see.
helping with the whole sledding thing. You can't really do that in the middle of New York City without dying horribly.
Whatever. George accidentally hits and severely injures a deer that ran onto the icy road. After George stops to investigate the damage, he's confronted by an angry local named... Can you read from here? I just want you to take a guess what this guy's name is. No, don't read. Don't read. What's this guy's name? What's the angry local's name?
Jeff.
Come on. Give me something better. He's from rural upstate New York. Okay?
Yancey.
Yancey's better. It's Otis.
Okay.
Otis, who flies into a rage telling George that he and his fellow hunters have been tracking the deer for some time. An argument breaks out, which leaves George feeling deeply shaken. Why? What? They have an argument. George comes away with it like, maybe I am a terrible person.
Maybe somebody said he was shook and this guy didn't know what that meant.
Maybe?
I guess he was really upset by that, I guess.
He is. I mean, to be fair, he's having a mental breakdown already. He
That's
has
fair.
come to the countryside to get away from all the stress, and he kills something. Doesn't kill it.
And then gets screamed at a dude for taking his kill.
Yes. It was going to die initially. But by the way, it's still alive. He injures it terribly. Otis should just be happy oh, well, you got it, man. I'm just going to finish it off.
Out of it.
I guess. You can't... You're
Who's
not
out there to hunt, not just to kill things? There's a difference.
I'm not saying this is impossible to do, but I don't know anybody who runs down deer for fun.
You've never been dog hunting?
I guess dog hunting would be accurate.
I don't know that they do that in upstate New York, but...
I have never been dog hunting. I've never been any kind of hunting. Not because I'm against it, just haven't had anybody to take me.
It's kind of boring if you're not actually doing anything. It's like fishing, but you don't have a reel to pay attention to. So well, eventually an animal will be here, and then it'll be dead. And then I'll eat it.
When George and Kim arrive at their cabin, they discover that it's next door to Otis's property. And they soon find...
So is this a horror movie
dark
or just
and intimidating
an awkward comedy?
Oh boy, we
and
sure did have
they
a
learn
tiff
to set
earlier.
aside their differences and come together as friends.
Well, there is a dark and intimidating presence that seems to have taken over the cottage.
Well, yeah, it's Otis. He's been yelling at them. It's just Otis being a bad neighbor the whole movie.
He just is in their cottage the whole time. Wow, let me show you guys where the pots and pans are. They're right here. Under
they're renting it from Otis, and they didn't know that at the time. He's like, man, I hate those guys. Ruined my hunt. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to meeting that couple that's renting the place, though. Wait.
Well, and then he's just just hovering, way too long. It's 2 hours since they've been there, and he's still now the light switch is a little bit jankety. Sometimes you have to smack the wall a couple times. Since when they stopped at a store en route to the cabin, a shopkeeper told Miles about the legend of the Wendigo. Of course he did. A beast from Indian folklore who is half man, half deer, and can change itself at will. The
That's
child
one
begins
interpretation of it, I guess.
to wonder if the creature might have something to do with his family's sudden misfortune.
What? You mean
So
your dad being kind of frazzled?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I mean, he's 8, so fine.
Well, this is really unsatisfying because the kid is
that the end of
like,
it?
bad things are happening. Bet it's that Wendigo dude that the shopkeeper was trying to scare me with. Which now that I forgot what the names, like how they sort of mapped to the different people. So now that I know that it's the kid, I'm actually more on board with the shopkeeper telling him about it, because I do that. I tell my kids there's monsters in the closet all the time. They don't believe me. But I think that this is an accurate thing for this kid to wonder about. I don't know like why we should feel like that it's even close to true, even if we hadn't heard the thing about how maybe it's George in yours. He's just like angry and stuff.
No, mine says it's in the imagination of Miles.
That's just lame.
Well, it's either imaginary or the kid becomes the Wendigo. It says it awakens the spirit in mine. Like here. Fluke acts instead of chain events that alters the life forever and conjures up the ferocious spirit of the Wendigo.
All right.
And it's made manifest in Miles' imagination.
This sounds just like we didn't have any actual money to make a Wendigo, so here's like some spooky lights and stuff, and the kid thinks it's a Wendigo.
The
and like
Wendigo is just
silhouette.
a tall, pale dude that eats everybody.
Oh. There's a character in
Sometimes he wears deer parts.
Well, in the there's a TV show called Channel Zero, and they like each season is like a different story.
Like American Horror Story?
Essentially, yes. Only from what I've heard, better. Although I don't watch American Horror Story, so I can't compare. But
is everybody obsessed with the sex?
No,
because that show is super obsessed with the sex.
Almost no sex.
There's almost nothing but sex, and then occasionally people die.
In the second season, there was like one sex scene, and everybody's like, "Why is this happening?" And I thought, well, that's not that weird. I mean, they did just go through a stressful event, and they're young people, so whatever. But third season, there's this like Cthulhuian entity that's essentially crafted after the Wendigo.
Okay.
I called it the Deer God, and it has like, it's essentially a deer head on top of a man's body, but he has a cool thing where he like opens up his robe and there's this just like universe inside.
Okay.
Really neat special effects and cool show. But I don't know if that's sort of where I go when I think the Wendigo. And I Googled some pictures of the Wendigo and it was similar looking, so.
Okay.
Plus there's a cannibalism theme, so it sort of fits in, you know.
Right.
What do you got next?
Up next, we have Wendigo, Bound by Blood.
Oh no, there's a sequel?
2002, I don't think it's a sequel.
Oh, it's just a different Wendigo movie?
I imagine.
Okay.
For hundreds of years, Native American culture has believed in the evil, cannibalistic spirit known as the Wendigo.
Fortunately, we know
In
better
quotes.
now because we have science.
Except for all those time people just randomly started eating each other, but whatever. For those who had taken part in cannibalism, no matter the reason, it was, the Wendigo would take possession of the person's body and soul.
Well,
I think they're trying to reason with it. It's like, no, see, I was like about to die. He goes, no, you belong to me.
Well, that is kind of, in my mind, that's the reason for the Wendigo myth to exist at all. It's a, like...
Yeah.
It's
why it's
a disincentive to eat people when in cultures where there would be a real good reason to eat people when they died. Because there's, like, no calories anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're like...
No way to go to hell without walking through, like, 100 miles of frozen winter.
Yes.
And then you would die.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, you could eat this guy, but Wendigo coming to eat you.
Which would turn you into a Wendigo and make you want to eat all the things.
How does that stack up? If there is a Wendigo, why isn't just eating people all the time?
What do you mean?
Oh, wait. So you just turn... The Wendigo doesn't come for you. You turn into the Wendigo.
The Wendigo is both the person possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo and the spirit that possesses them.
Okay.
Kind of at the same time, and they're separate entities. When you eat flesh, or when you give into eating humans, you turn into a Wendigo. And the more you eat as a Wendigo, the bigger you grow. So you are perpetually starving and have to go eat more people and more other animals. But you mostly crave human flesh.
So there's like a potential for a kaiju Wendigo story, yes?
Yes, but then they died to fire.
Oh.
Like that's...
We can write around that.
Yeah.
It could be in the water or something.
Yeah, okay. Once the Wendigo would take possession of the human host, the host would develop an insatiable desire to eat human flesh in the deep woods of northern Pennsylvania.
Well, just there.
Yes.
Everywhere else, you're fine, but If you eat human flesh in the
all those cannibal, villages out in South America and everywhere else, no, they're fine. There's no Wendigos there.
That's the reason. Like, everybody's
not in Pennsylvania.
We've seen people eat people before. They didn't become Wendigos. Like, well, it wasn't in northern Pennsylvania, so shut your mouth.
A small-town sheriff is investigating a bloody crime scene. On the scene, he meets Angini Stonechild. I'm sure I mispronounced that.
Okay.
A traveling physician treating patients in the area. During the investigation, the two stumble upon dead bodies, which, since it's a murder investigation, is expected.
Yeah. Stumble's almost the wrong word there. It's like, no, they found the thing they were looking for.
Okay, this takes a turn I was not prepared for.
Okay.
In this movie about the Wendigo. During the investigation, the two stumble upon dead bodies, a slew of relentless hitmen, and two mysterious individuals being protected by federal agents. There's a Wendigo.
Okay. So this isn't all together. This is in one sentence. They stumble on the dead bodies, and they stumble on a slew of relentless hitmen. A slew of them, Brantley.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I mean, as a collective noun, that's at least 7.
I was thinking, yeah.
7 different hitmen. What?
Relentless.
Are they all working together? Because that's just a gang.
No, I think they're all after the same thing. So, like, taking each other out.
Okay.
And then, meanwhile, there's also a cannibalistic murder monster in the woods.
Right.
With a trail of mutilated bodies.
There's also the 2 mysterious individuals being protected by federal agents, who I assume are the targets,
probably,
of these hitmen. All right, go ahead. I cut you off as you're trying to read the next sentence.
With the trail of mutilated bodies piling up, the sheriff and Angini, and Dr. Dude must not only confront the dangerous assassins, but also find a way to destroy, ellipses, the Wendigo! Exclamation point.
Which is, I mean, if you hadn't told... Well, okay, they talk about the Wendigo
a lot. They open with a description
of
it, yeah, what the
and
Wendigo is.
And it is called Wendigo. But there has been no indication that thing was actually there.
Yeah, the first, 4 sentences of this are just describing what a Wendigo is.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that description. I do... It is nice, if you've never heard of a Wendigo, to be like, here's what it is. But there was just dead bodies. Like, there was no indication people were getting eaten or were eating people. Where did the Wendigo come from?
Mutilated bodies.
Maybe, yeah. What does this have to do? Are the federal agents protecting 2 people who have the spirit of the Wendigo in them because they're trying to weaponize them or something? Because that's where my mind goes.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either. I just realized...
I literally have not seen the movie.
This movie appears in a list. You ever notice on IMDb where there's a list on the right-hand side, apparently, of people who have included this movie that you're looking at in their list? And the name of the list is I Have AIDS, and it's advancing very quickly.
Wow.
A list of 71 titles created 7 months ago.
That's...
Rip.
All right, thanks. Thanks for that ending.
I assume that's not true, but I also have no way of knowing. It also appears in movie and TV episodes that has a Wendigo.
Yeah, like the second or third episode of Supernatural is about the Wendigo.
Did you hear that they had an animated episode recently? I
did not.
It's like they literally go into the Scooby-Doo universe.
Okay.
But it's very bloody and scary and stuff. There's a whole... we're going to have to mine this for a whole Wendigo episode.
Yeah, that was the plan, but I was trying to record or take movies down on the way here.
Oh, okay.
Because I had planned to take it on lunch, but lunch was busy.
It was just a Wendigo and then also a random T-Rex episode. That's fine, too.
A magical T-Rex episode.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like this, don't forget to tell a friend, leave a review on iTunes. You know what that jazz is all about. You can find us over on Patreon. We post these episodes over there as well. And for as little as $2 a month, you can help us out. And we eventually will release some Patreon exclusive content over there. We hope.
We have
a little bit. I have not done as much as I planned because we don't have that much reach, Brantley. We're a poor little podcast.
Yep.
It does not have 8,000 bazillion listeners. But we're doing okay. That's not a whine. That's just... What?
We have 5?
Oh, no. We're doing better than that.
Okay.
I'm not the podcast is over. You guys are awesome. And take care.